Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! This happened last year, but I just discovered this subreddit, so I feel like this story fits here. I work at a music store. My store sells instruments, obviously, rents out instruments, repairs instruments, and provides private lessons. I get some crazy customers every now and then, but this is one where I got physical. This mom, dad, and their child, who looks to be about 10-ish years old, walk in and I could immediately tell the kid is attention deficit. Super hyper, asking questions to his parents randomly, running to the pianos and pounding on the keys, and just wouldn't stop his hyperactivity. Anyway, they come and want to rent out a trumpet because the kid wants to be in a band and orchestra. Dad just had a frown on his face the whole time, while mom was being very civil and at the same time trying to calm the kid down, while dad just had the "I really don't want to be here at all" look on his face. I tell the parents that renting a trumpet is $26 a month before tax. $20 goes into equity that can be used to purchase an instrument in the future, and the other $6 is for our liability damage waiver, in case it gets damaged, lost, stolen, and so on. That extra $6 a month will get him something else if the worst happened. The mom agrees to everything, but the dad scoffed and rolled his eyes and asked if the LDW is optional. I told him yes, but it's very highly recommended because if something happens to the trumpet, they will be liable for the cost if they don't get the LDW. He assures me that nothing will happen and that he doesn't need to pay extra for nonsense. I didn't tell the parents this, but based on what I'm seeing out of the kid's behavior, I had that feeling in my bones that something was going to happen to the trumpet due to the kid's hyperactivity. It takes roughly 5 minutes to do the paperwork for a rental. About halfway through, Dad says to Mom, "This is taking forever. I'm gonna walk to Home Depot and get my tools." There is a Home Depot right across from the parking lot. Mom says that the gentleman, me, is almost done and tells him to be patient. He just tells her to grab the kid and meet him there when it's done. He then left. Mom apologized for his behavior and finished the rental with that guilty look on her face. After the mom and hyper kid left, I joked with my coworker and told him, just wait and watch them come back in the near future with a damaged trumpet without the LDW. He agreed but laughed it out, just like I did, and I thought that was the end of everything. My joke turned out to be a foreshadow. 3 days later, I'm working with my manager and the dad comes in by himself with the trumpet out of its case. His pupils were also dilated, so I had to guess he was high on something that was not weed. The trumpet sleeve pipe was bent at a damn near 45-degree angle and there was a nasty dent in the bell. When I asked him what happened, the guy straight up said, "You jerks rented us out a bad trumpet that cannot withstand damage. I work in construction and I know that metal doesn't bend after it's dropped." That was nonsense because from personal experience, brass instruments do bend and dent if they are dropped, and especially since this is a low-brand instrument, which we do normally rent out to beginner players. It is way more sensitive. He was demanding that he gets another trumpet with better quality. The manager asked him if he signed up for the LDW, and the dad said, "Hell no, I didn't want to pay for anything but a rental fee." My manager then told him that we couldn't get him another trumpet without the LDW, so he's liable for the cost of repair. Dad wasn't having any of it, but my manager did tell him that's our company policy. On to the climax. He then grabbed my manager by her waist and started making claims about how the customer is supposed to be treated right. I went into rage because, you don't put your hands on a woman like that. I told him to get out right now, and that's when he reached his hand back and smacked her in the face like a pimp. Fearing for my manager's safety, I quickly grabbed him by the bottom of his chin and slammed him onto the floor. I screamed in his face while holding him down firm. "You chose not to get the LDW. The trumpet is clearly damaged and you are liable for it for not wanting to pay an extra $6. Now get out, now, and take your broken trumpet with you." I was afraid that he would start fighting me back, but he thankfully did not. I released him and he walked out all huffed up and didn't take the trumpet with him, all while flipping us off on his way out. After his high enraged butt left, I looked at my manager, whose face was already beginning to bruise, and asked her if she was okay. She was, and she thanked me for standing up for her, but she also told me that this was something that had to get corporation attention. Long story short, after the rock bottom and corporate being notified, I didn't get fired for assaulting a customer because 1. The dad started everything, and 2. Who the hell knows what could have happened if I didn't stop the jerk from doing more harm. The next day, which was my day off, my manager called me and said the mom called the store and apologized for what happened. From what I was told, she was already in the process of filing for divorce due to his drug addiction and abuse. She also came to the store later and paid for a dirt cheap trumpet to purchase since the rental was on the dad's credit card, and he chose to leave the broken one behind. His next month's payment would be the cost of the repair. This was back in October of 2021. So today, I'm hoping that the mom and kid are away from that jerk, and I hope the kid learned how to take better care of the instrument. We will call her Missy. I imagine if she has read it, which I'm pretty sure she does, and she finds this, she'll know regardless it's about her. Missy and I were never officially friends. Our best friends were friends, and often the 4 of us would go out together. Missy was just rude in general and often made snarky comments when I would try to engage in conversation with her. She liked being the smartest one in the room, if that's a good way to put it. When our friends went separate ways, so did we. I never heard from Missy again, and that was until I had joined the Facebook group. The Facebook group belonged to a certain large fandom of the height of the fandom becoming a TV show on Netflix. Several people posted their cosplay photos, so I posted mine. All around good comments and everyone was very kind, except one in particular I recognized. Missy, she had commented and insulted my makeup skills and live reacted the photo of me cosplaying a male character. I responded to reintroduce myself to her. She was shocked it was me and I tried playing nice and asking how she was. She ended up blocking me. A few months later, I saw her husband post something on Facebook about Missy being in the running for a huge social media contest, and she was actually in the top 50. The prize? $25K. I checked out her profile on the contest site and it was self-written, speaking about how kind she is and how non-judgmental she is. I had a good laugh about it. Then I found out you can vote multiple times a week. Multiple times for each contestant the remaining 8 weeks of the contest. So I decided to dedicate myself to ensuring she wouldn't get the prize and be the face of the non-judgmental girl of the year, and voted against her every single day, multiple times a day for 8 whole weeks. She was knocked out of the running halfway through the 8 weeks due to the low numbers. Missy, if you see this, you will know it was me. Do not be a witch. So this is another story from the world of customer service and Burger King. So our characters are myself, my coworker who I will call Barbie, and the villain of this piece, Jerkface. Now let me start by saying I'm fine with people who can break the script on customer service on either side, and I'm all for looking for love wherever you want. But know that when she says no, she means it. Also, this guy was so creepy he'd give online incels a run for their money. So I was in charge of babysitting the newbies for the day, as we just had a fresh crop of them whisking. The rate of retention was low and I was perhaps the one guy who worked in all areas at some point, so had to train everyone. One newbie was Barbie. She was 16 and as much of a Barbie girl as you can get complete, with a shiny blonde hair and bubbly personality. She was on the till to my right and in comes the jerk face. So she's busy taking his order when all of a sudden he decides to ask her for her number. Now I'm sure that she's used to it, as she brushed it off and just said, "Sorry, I'm seeing someone. So, would you like your meal large?" "Nah, I give it, I don't buy it," Jerkface said as if he could impress her with his vulgarity. "Okay, so any signs?" she asked. She wasn't going to break from the script purely out of discomfort, I think. At this point, I was finished with my customer and turned my attention on this guy. Depends, can I have you as my side? I'd love to make a meal out of you, Jerkface told her. The sheer cringe was uncomfortable for all of us except him. You need me to step in? I asked her. I'm okay, but can you stay near? She asked. No worries, I told her. Is this your boyfriend? Jerkface asked her. No, but you're making me feel uncomfortable. You're like 10 years older than me and you're creeping on me, she told him. I think that she was hoping he would just realize what he was doing and give up, but no such luck. Honey, I'm your customer. This is part of customer service, so just give me your number and my order and I will come back later to pick you up, he replied. The sheer entitled attitude towards her was starting to annoy me and her. Sir, I'm just going to be blunt with you. I'm not going to allow her to deal with you any further. You're going to either finish your order with me, and it will be a takeaway, or you can leave now, I said. Barbie quickly took a step back from the till and let me take her place. Hey, that's not cool. We're both guys here. No plunking me, man, Jerkface exclaimed. He was actually angry because I wouldn't let him hit on her. I told Barbie to go into the kitchen and grab a drink of water or something while I dealt with him. I honestly don't care if you think because we're both guys you're entitled to make my front counter team uncomfortable. You have a right to order food from here for now. If you continue with this behavior, I'll simply have you leave, I told him, hoping that my stern voice was enough to get him to focus. But it was not. So this guy continued with his order for a moment before redirecting his attention to Barbie, who had just popped her head out of the kitchen to see if she was in the clear, and he clicked on immediately when he noticed her. Why can't you just take my order and give me your number? All I want to do is make you happy, he shouted at her. She immediately fled as the manager on shift came out of the dry store after hearing the commotion. I immediately signaled them to call the security staff for the shopping center before turning back to the customer. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave now, as I don't feel comfortable with you even being in the same place as my colleague. Now, please leave. I'm going to cancel off everything for your order and you won't be served any further by any colleague here, I informed him. I'm not leaving until I get her number. Do you even know who I am? He said as if knowing who he was would change my opinion on him. No, but you're not harassing my colleague for her number so he can act like a big man. You look closer to my age than hers. And so, you should know that acting like this is inappropriate. I have no problems with a guy asking a girl for her number, but when she says no, it means no, I explained to him. Since when? When a witch says no, you simply pay her more money. It's the same here. When she says no, you keep asking until she says yes, he replied, as if this means he's in the right all of a sudden. A moment later, security just walked in. The manager walked out to point out the customer who was still irate because he couldn't get a girl's number. I'd already cancelled his order on the tills, but he was still refusing to leave until he got her number. Security just walked behind him and tapped him on the shoulder. Sir, you'll have to come with us, the security guard said. But she hasn't given me her number yet, he told him, and she won't. Now please leave, I said. With this, he finally admitted defeat and sulked away. I don't know what made him think that he was entitled to her, but I'm just glad she was protected properly. You can ask a girl out, but you cannot harass her if she says no. When Barbie left that day, she was driven home by one of the female members of staff who finished at the same time. She actually came back as well, and I made sure that she was okay to keep working on the tills before I put her back on them that day. I might call her Barbie, but she was a boss Barbie if anything. Good on her for not letting him shake her. I'm a single bachelor myself, and I understand that flirting is okay so long as you don't act like an entitled jerkface and mistreat someone who isn't interested. Also, as a rule of thumb, when you're 25 plus, don't even bother hitting on a girl who's 16 and actually looks younger due to her baby face. That's just creepy. My rule of thumb with age range is normally 6 years younger to 6 years higher. If you have a different one, that's fine, but don't be that creepy. I don't know what people's opinions are on sexual harassment on here, but I hope that you all appreciate that you should never act like this to anyone ever. No one is entitled to date anyone. It's a privilege to have a partner in love and life. no matter how long it lasts. Anyone who needs assistance with dealing with any form of stalking, domestic abuse, sexual violence, harassment in the UK, I will post a couple of links to groups that helps with this sort of issue. As a drive-thru operator rocking a new deal at Mindy's, I've been anticipating this one. Who knew it would happen so quickly? A customer orders a grilled chicken for $6.40 and 10-piece spicy nuggets for $5.64, and he also orders a drink. I didn't initially pay attention to his deal qualifying items until he got to the window, so he got to see me fumble through my very first customer favor in the name of switching his two most expensive items as a 2 for $6. I am just about to find a button when I hear that oh so familiar, oh so infuriating rap on my drive through the window. "Hey man, you're taking too long. Stop messing around and take my money." Enter MC. I stopped messing around and told him as he started to drive off that he paid double what he could have. He stopped his brake lights for a second, looked back, then shook his head driving off. Yeah, sure, some low stakes MC, but in terms of percentage more he spent than he should have. Glorious. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.